talking about Kaizen. Kaizen means finding a better way all the time. Something looks good, it needs to be improved. Status quo cannot be accepted. No engineer, no manager should accept a status quo. You have to be paranoid about finding a better way. This is like oxygen. You need oxygen all the time for your lungs, for your body. This is oxygen for an organization. Without oxygen, your organization will die. Guys, it will die. I cannot overemphasize it. मैं सिर्फ इकबाल का एक शेर आपसे अर्ज करूंगा, तेरे इश्क की इंतहा चाहता हूं, मेरी सादगी देख कि क्या चाहता हूं. Ishq is passion. You need to have that passion, be paranoid about finding a better way, about improving yourself, and about improving your organization. And what are you doing? We pay people for their hands for them to work. We are not, and you can get their ideas free. All you have to do is allow them to express themselves. This is important, to allow them to express. इसको minimize ना करें. Allow them to express themselves. So you get that for free. So why don't you take it for free? Open the doors. We have an old thought process here, a suggestion scheme. Kaizen is not a suggestion scheme. You have to motivate people to give suggestions of that will help to change their work and the organization. Toyota has an average of 60 to 70 suggestions per person per annum. That's a lot of people and a lot of suggestions. In Thal, we achieved about 20. I was very happy with that. I've shown the various points which actually go to this, that you have to, it becomes the lifeblood of standardized work. And once you standardize, it again becomes a benchmark to do more improvements, more Kaizen. How do you do that? How do you find out? The problem is that if you have no problem, this is a big problem. When I went to Toyota once, there was a guy who had come from the government, and I asked him, what's the difference between working for the government and working for Toyota? He said, in government, if we had a problem, we would worry. In Toyota, if we don't have a problem, we worry. Why don't we have a problem? What is that? What is the problem? The problem is actually the gap between an ideal situation and whatever is happening right now. Whether it's a matter of delivery, whether it's a matter of quality or a cost, anything. But you have to have an ideal solution, and whatever, and the gap between the ideal and whatever is now is the problem. Then you have to break down the problem. If you will not break down the problem, you will never be able to resolve it. There are 8 steps to resolving, 8 steps to problem solving. 1, you have to clarify the problem. And that is, what is the ideal situation, where you are now, what is the gap, and what is the effect of that gap. 2, break down the problem into what, when, who, why. 3rd, establish a target for wherever you have identified that it needs to be done. How best to do it. There's a concept here which I've mentioned, Genchi Gambatsu. This is, you go to the place of work, wherever the problem is, that is where you go and talk with the people who are going through that process. And there is no work done without a whole line of processes to be done. Go to each process, analyze where the problem is arising, and talk to the people, both in qualitative and quantitative elements, and you will start to see and put a target. This is where you need to be in the next step. You may not be able to achieve your ideal, but there will be something that you will want to achieve. Then you start up a root cause analysis, an RCA. How do you do a root cause analysis? You build up some countermeasures. You look at possible countermeasures. Have as many countermeasures as you think you can. Look at which is more practical. Build a consensus on that. And then build a plan how to implement it. These 4 steps make countermeasures. Let me give an example. Recently, I was at a foundry. I spent some time at a foundry. They had a problem that the sand was being mixed with metal. It was going in. Now, why was it going? There could be 3 reasons for it. Imtiaz would love this example, I'm sure. One was that it's very high temperature. 2, that there is turbulence. 3, that the sand is not well pressed. When I asked the engineers, they said the sand is well pressed. We have checked it by this meter, by that meter, etc. I asked, have you checked it near where it's happening? They went back, but they said the chances of this happening is less than 5%. Then they said about the temperatures are well controlled, and the chances of this going wrong is also less than 5. Then I asked, what about the turbulence? He said, yes, that is possible, 100%. Why? Then I asked, why? What could be happening to create the turbulence? He said, it could be this ferrostatic pressure, or it could be the gating system. I said, why could it be the gating system? Because the gating system may be too small, too narrow. Why is it too narrow? Because that's the way it was designed by people before us. I said, why can we not redo it? He said, yes, we can redo it. So I said, let's get back to the gating system. We went back, we improved the problem, we improved the issue, the problem, resolved the issue, and went on. So as you build up your countermeasures, you focus on at least one of them and see. Then you run through the countermeasures. In this case of the foundry, we went through the countermeasures, we ran through it, we analyzed the process as well as whatever we were able to get out of it. Here we did the PDCA. As we went through it, we saw the results, we rectified it further, and again did the action. We again planned it, we again did it, and again checked the results, and again acted. This is the PDCA that we did. Once we did it, and we found okay results continuously, we standardized the process. Now it's cast. We will look at it again after some time. So we have to raise the bar daily. Every afternoon leaving, people must ask, have I raised the bar today? If not, my God, it's a misdemeanor. Tomorrow can only be better if we work upon it today.